Oh,
For a different color? Do you want more than one? What color? Give you like a yellowy, goldy something? Yeah. Well, if you want to pick, Seven. Okay. Just don't try. Just don't say. I'm very athletic. Awesome. Thank you. I'm gonna do a quick rehearsal. Where are you? Standing on the bench. Okay, so you just come up with it. So pick a side, pick whichever side you're comfortable with, one face it out. Okay, shopkeeper came up. Now I'm gonna give you lines, so you're gonna just pretend you don't have to say anything. So you just
that makes for a nice surprise.
okay. This is what I'm saying. I've been watching you stand on this bridge for 3 days. And you know, 3 days if you want. 3 days. Yeah, you. Yeah, I'm you. Yes, I'm saying no more. On the third day, a shopkeeper came up to me. Shopkeeper says, I've been watching you stand on this bridge for two
It's like
financial days.
it's like when you have like a chocolate.
For 3 days.
It's like either you're like an ear person or like
Neither selling,
you
neither
know.
selling wares nor selling alms. What is your business? Okay, good. Okay, yeah. What is your business? Yeah, you can do it right after I say it. Just listen to what I say. And
Yeah,
I'll give you
that's
more.
fair. That is
Right?
fair.
So
I always had a
the peddler is going to tell you his dream. After the peddler tells you his dream, blah blah blah. The shopkeeper just laughed at his foolishness.
yeah.
Okay, so I
That's
roll up here, and then you start
yeah.
talking for me, and I pretend to talk,
Yes.
and at the end I go like this,
Yes.
and then after that,
And the shopkeeper's going to
I
tell
used
you
to really love
his dream.
the bunnies from
that's a rock.
Sorry.
because there's
Gonna
like
tell you his
that
dream.
was some good chocolate.
I'm gonna say it. Shopkeeper laughed at his foolishness. Now you can, if you want to laugh out loud at that point, you can. You don't
Oh.
have to. It's fine. The shopkeeper just, that's fine too. Shopkeeper just laughed at his foolishness, whatever. Shopkeeper just laughed at his foolishness, and then told him of a silly dream she herself had.
So then I talk.
Yes, you're gonna. Okay, here we go. What a fool! What a
Oh, we
this
can
is me.
practice.
This is me talking for you. What a fool you are, taking such a long journey for a secret dream. Last night I dreamt I was supposed to go to Norfolk, a place unknown to me. I dreamed I was supposed to go behind a small house owned by a man named Chapman. Now the funny thing is that this is Chapman. Right? Next to the house was a towering oak tree. Now what's going to happen after you say that? The oak tree is going to send me to check my grave. You don't see them.
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh, so I won't look. I don't.
Don't look. No, you're just telling me, this is just, I had a stupid dream. I dreamt that if I dug under that tree, I would find a vast treasure. Now, you don't see me running up to Norfolk because of a silly dream, do you? If I were you, I'd get myself home Thank the man, thank the woman, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
In a brown sugar for her wise advice. So thank you for wise advice. Go sit. Wait, 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 wait. We don't need
What
that.
do I do with the food?
What do you want to say?
It's blue.
Mine is this.
Mainly you're talking.
I know.
You're supposed to very kind of
As soon as I do my very
after
first sentence, I
you say thank
know.
you. So maybe you want to shake hands. Is that easier to do?
Okay.
Thank you. Give me the right hand. Okay, I'm gonna say after maybe. Everybody sits, and then you're excited. You're gonna say headed home immediately. Been there, done. See, there's two. There'll be two. You'll see this.
So you could have. That's okay, because you end up matching with Kathy, so that will work out nicely. We're talking about how there was like apparently an unknown blue memo. That it's like so many. No, there's just like so many of us actually showed up either in blue, but the parts that we missed were like the fish themes because like Tammy's got a fish themed bag, and then Jean's got like the dolphin necklace, and then Arav's got fish on his shirt. I'm like, there's so many fish themed things today for some reason. It is a little funny. We're just like, I can do more. I want it all.
Come into our house of hope and love, of peace and justice, of wholeness and healing. Come in where we welcome the certain and the seeking, the long-timers and the newcomers, the beloved and the brokenhearted. All of you can find a home here at Throop, where we go love the world from the heart of Pasadena and from the heart of our homes. Good morning to all of our friends joining us on the live stream. This week, our worship series theme on sacred pilgrimage takes us to places that feel like both the beginning and the end. We have so many of these moments in our lives. A pilgrimage may reach its destination, but the hope and wisdom gained along the way bring us to a brand new starting point. You can deepen your connections at Throop this afternoon by staying after the worship service. Our social justice team has an opportunity for you to love the world, and that is packing sack lunches for the Friends Indeed Street Outreach team. And if you're new to Throop, we would love to stay in touch. You can fill out one of the information cards you see in the pew back in front of you and hand that in to an usher a little later in worship. And each Sunday morning, we are reminded that each one of us is a light in the world, and the flame from our chalice symbolizes and reflects that light.
Our time together in worship is intimately connected with our daily lives. As a symbol of that connection, we light our chalice with a flame from our candles of prayer and healing with words from Wendell Berry. The world cannot be discovered by a journey of miles, no matter how long, but only by a spiritual journey, a journey of 1 inch, very arduous and humbling and joyful, by which we arrive at the ground at our own feet and learn to be at home. We light a second candle to honor the people and ancestors whose lands we now occupy. The land under and around Throop is the unceded land of the Gabrielino Tongva Band of Mission Indian people. May this knowledge and awareness lead us into dismantling systems of supremacies and oppressions. We light a third candle symbolizing our watershed, the Arroyo Seco. May their waters continue to nourish life in our communities. We take a moment of silence, holding all of these in our hearts.
And as we continue to gather, we sing our opening hymn, Wo Ya Ya. It's in the teal hymnal, number 1020. And I invite you all to rise and sing out as body and spirit allow, number 1020.
We are going, heaven knows where we are going. We know we're there, and we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. It will be hard, we know, and the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Oh yeah yeah, oh yeah yeah, oh yeah yeah, oh yeah yeah.
Would you turn to your neighbor and give them a warm Throop welcome?
going, but we know we're there. And we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. It will be hard, we know, and the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, and we know we will. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. We are going. Heaven knows where we are going, but we know we're there. And we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Oh yeah, yeah. 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 Oh yeah, yeah.
Promise to our planet. The spring blooming vines like wisteria are vigorous growers. Their tendrils stretch and reach, spiraling around their supports. It becomes hard to tell the beginning and the end apart. Some moments on the road of our lives feel like both the end and the beginning. Each new beginning comes from an ending. Throughout our lives, we return to similar themes, familiar experiences, yet we meet these moments with new perspectives. Our lives are like a spiral rather than a direct line. What opportunities is this spring season giving you to gain new understanding of yourself and your relationship with what you name as sacred or holy? As you consider that question, we share our true promise to the planet. The words are found in your order of worship. As members of the family of living beings on earth, we are guided by the Unitarian Universalist principle of respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. With hearts filled with love for it, eyes nurtured by its beauty, and minds ruminating on ways to protect its sacred and scarce resources, we promise to nurture the well-being of all life and the planet
itself.
Wisdom from our Unitarian Universalist tradition, The Way, number 670. This morning's responsive reading can be found in the Gray Hymnal, number 670, The Way. As Unitarian Universalists, we find spiritual wisdom in many religious traditions, as well as in secular sources, such as the poetry of Edwin Muir. Muir was a Scottish poet. His poem, The Way, invites us to consider the ancient notion of life as a journey. Please turn to reading 670. The congregation will respond by reading the words in italics. Friend, I have lost the way.
The way leads on.
Is there another way?
The way is one.
I must retrace the track.
It's lost and gone.
But I must travel back.
None goes there. None.
Then I'll make here my place.
The road runs on.
Stand still and set my face.
The road leaps on.
Stay here, forever stay.
None stays here, none.
I cannot find the way.
The way leads on.
Oh, places I have passed,
That journey's done.
and what will come at last?
The way leads on. This morning's lesson is Follow Your Dreams, an English tale, and I would like to bring forward our Throop players.
Follow Your Dreams, an English tale. The only bit of magic in this tale comes in the form of dreams. A peddler named Chapman, who lived in Norfolk, England, lived in a small house next to a towering oak tree. One night he dreamed that he heard a knock on his door. And when he opened it, there stood a heavenly messenger. The messenger told him in his dream that if he went to London Bridge, he would find a treasure. When he woke up, he dismissed the dream. But he had the same dream the next night. And the third night. He could not ignore the dream any longer. He traveled to London and stood on the bridge. For 2 uneventful days, looking about and listening for any news about a treasure. On the third day, a shopkeeper came up to him. I've been watching you stand on this bridge for 3 days, neither selling wares nor seeking alms. What is your business? The peddler described his dream. The shopkeeper just laughed at his foolishness and then told him a silly dream she herself had. What a fool you are, taking such a long journey for the sake of a dream. Last night I dreamt that I was supposed to go to Norfolk, a place unknown to me. I dreamed I was supposed to go behind a small house owned by a man named Chapman. Next to the house was a towering oak tree. I dreamed that if I dug under that tree, I would find a vast treasure. Now, you don't see me running up to Norfolk because of a silly dream, do you? If I were you, I'd get myself home again. Chapman thanked the woman for her wise advice. And headed home immediately. There he dug under the oak and found a box filled, still digging, and found a box filled with vast treasure.
And each week our children go to their Kids Dig In program where they get connected with each other, with their faith, and with our earth. And we have a practice of singing them into their program. Those lyrics are in the order of worship.
For you shall go out in joy, for you shall go out in joy, and come back in peace, and come back in peace. For you shall go out in joy, for you shall go out in joy, and come back in peace, and come back in peace. Blessed be.
If we ever do our own Throop Academy Awards or Emmys or something like that, I hereby nominate Jack as Best Oak Tree. Way to go. And all of you really Throop players, you did an excellent job today. Our wisdom inspired by our earth is the poem Off and Running by Linda Milliman. After so much rain, now a bit of sun, and the earth nuzzles its grateful head up against the sky. Greens snap in infinite varieties, roots hum. This day, all day long, all it can be, it will. Undirected, ducks hurry, the vines grow, pines fan skirts of tender tips, while we plot our course and think our way through another day. This day is off and running on its own.
Calm soul of all things, make it mine to feel amid the city's jar that there abides a peace of thine I did not make and cannot mar. The will to neither strive nor cry, the power to feel with others give. Calm me more, nor let me die before I have begun to live. Calm soul of all things, make it mine to feel amid the city's jar that there abides a peace of thine I did not make and cannot mar.
Thank you. This morning for our offering, I come to you with a special announcement and a special invitation for you to join me in a partnership to ensure our windows shine brightly for future generations to enjoy. When you came into worship today, some of you might have directed your eyes to one of the windows and you might have wondered, why is it festooned today so beautifully? Is it this window's birthday? Who wondered what in the world is going on over there? Well, this is a sad news, great news kind of story that I'm going to share with you today. Some sad news, some reality news is that this beloved window, original to this building in 1923, a window that looks a little different from all the others because being the first window to be designed and installed, it's the only one designed by stained glass maker Henry Wynd Young. And as you look at this beautiful window, unique in its symbolism, you might notice that you don't only see the beautiful glass. Does anybody else care to say what you can also see as you gaze at that window? George. A menorah, we're going to get to that. Jack, what else might you see? It's bent. And when you look at that window, you can see something you're not supposed to see, which is the outside world. There's a gap in it. And so we could say that's really cool. And the symbolism is we're always inviting the outside world in, but it's time for us to have our window repaired and restored. We are the ones, just like the people back in 1923 raised money and funded these beautiful windows. We're the ones now who get to restore and repair this significant window for generations to come, so that 100 years from today, people are sitting here inspired by the beauty that shines forth from that window. Unique in that it does contain some symbolism from the Jewish tradition, a menorah and a Star of David. Now, some of you might be sitting out there and you might be thinking right now, Reverend Tara, I know nothing about stained glass, but what you are proposing sounds expensive. Who thought that? I see some hands, friends. I thought it too. But our intrepid trooper, Paula, met with Judson Studios, renowned stained glass manufacturer and designer here in Southern California, and they gave us great news about almost all of our windows, which is almost all of them are ready to stand the test of time. They're in great shape. This particular window, we have it cordoned off because there is some safety considerations with it. To have this window restored, repaired, will be right around $12,000. Now, I know you might be sitting in the audience right now and looking around, and you might be saying, Reverend Tara, are you asking all of us today for the full $12,000? How many of you are afraid that that is what I'm asking you? How many are excited? That's maybe what I'm going to ask you. Yes, Teresa Bailey's in the front saying she's excited. Well, we have a very generous lead gift to restore the window, a lead gift of $4,000. That gets us a third of the way there. We know in our troop budget in this fiscal year and next that we can dedicate another $4,000 to the window. And today we're asking the congregation to be as generous as you can today and over the next several weeks, and to help us raise an additional $4,000 so that we can work quickly and have our window restored and repaired so we can enjoy it again as soon as possible. If $4,000 from the congregation sounds like a lot, I want to invite you to think about it, and that if every one of our donors were able to give $60 toward the window, $60! DJ's looking at me like that's a wild number, and it is. $60 from each person, we would be able to get to our $4,000 easy peasy. Call Judson Studios and have them come take that out in the next few weeks. For some of you, $60 feels simple. For some of you, $60 is a bag of groceries this week at the grocery store. And so the invitation is for you to give what you can and what you are able to do, whether that is $1, $2, $100, $500, or if you want to meet that anonymous donation of $4,000, Karen will take it right now. We're going to continue talking to you about the importance of the window. You'll have other opportunities to give. And I just want to say thank you for your attention to this announcement, to this attention to our community that we support in so many ways, and your attention to helping us restore this window so it can shine brightly for so many generations to come. Your offering today will go directly toward our Stained Glass Restoration Fund. Thank you so much for your generosity. The morning offering will now be received.
my free spirit onward leads, well, there shall be my way. By my own light illumined, I've journeyed night and day. My age a time-worn cloak I wear, as once I wore my youth. I celebrate life's mystery, I celebrate death's truth. My family is not confined to mother, mate, and child, but it includes all creatures, be they tame or be they wild. My family upon this earth includes all living things, on land or in the ocean deep, or borne aloft on wings. The ever-spinning universe, well, there shall be my home. I sing and spin within it, as through this life I roam. Eternity is hard to ken, and harder still is this. A human life, when truly seen, is briefer than a kiss.
In a spirit of deep gratitude, we lift up those supporting today's worship service. I'd like to thank Ripley, who came in before youth group to get the live stream started. I'd like to thank Teresa and Arev for being our greeters, Karen for serving as usher, Kelly for being our worship associate today. I'd like to thank Faith with the children's program. Danny and I think Laramie are with the youth group this morning. I'd like to thank Cynthia for coming in early and setting up coffee and conversation, Allegra and Aurelio for setting up our fourth Sunday sack lunch making, and I'd like to thank local bakery, ID Eclair, for providing a whole table full of beautiful vegan pastries for coffee hour. Malcolm and choir, thank you for your always inspiring music, and Malcolm, your partnership and collaboration. Throop players for another beautiful story told to the congregation, and Jessica for all of your humor and administrative support, thank you. And as we pause in recognition for all of the ways we support our Throop community life, I invite you to share the words of gratitude that you'll find in the order of worship. With gratitude for the ministries of the church that hold us and embolden us to love the world, we bless our offering and the many gifts we share. And after the energy of opening hymn and the story and the window announcement, we really slow down and take a pause for our centering hymn. Find a stillness, number 352, and really try to slow down your breath and your mind as we sing this together. And we breathe together into those harmonies, taking a gentle breath in, a gentle exhale, steadying our hearts and minds, welcoming a moment of shared stillness. Breath of life and breath of love. As we move along the winding paths of our lives, we are brought to unexpected places. In so many moments of our days, we seek out stillness to reflect on the heaviness of the world. Each of us are meeting this moment in time in our own way. Some of us are marching in the streets. Others of us are cheering folks on from the sidelines. Others are writing letters and engaging in public advocacy. It's hard to take courageous steps to enter into the fray, to know what to do and how to do it. In whatever ways you are voicing your values, please know that that is enough, and you are enough. This morning we hold in our hearts those in our circles of care and compassion whose journeys are difficult in this moment. And as we think about the difficulties of life, we're also reminded that there is so much good along the journey of life. And so we hold in our hearts all that we are grateful for. May we meet the breath of life and love in the stillness. Open our hearts to receive life's love. And for all that is our life, we give our thanks and praise. Amen.
Just yesterday morning, they let me know you were gone. Suzanne, the plans they made put an end to you. I walked out this morning and I wrote down this song. I just can't remember who to send it to. I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always thought that I'd see you again. Won't you look down upon me, Jesus? You've got to help me make a stand. You just got to see me through another day. My body's aching and my time is at hand, and I won't make it any other way. Oh, I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always thought that I'd see you again. I've been walking my mind to an easy time, my back turned towards the sun. Lord knows when the cold wind blows, it'll turn your head around. Well, endless hours on the telephone line to talk about things to come. Sweet dreams and flying machines in pieces on the ground. Oh, I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always thought that I'd see you again. I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. And I always thought that I'd see you again.
Do you choose a life or do you live a life? This question frames the movie The Way. Have you all seen it? Oh, this is all about spoiling the movie, Jack. I'm sorry. It was released in 2010, so I think I am far from the statute of limitations on spoiling. Come on. The Way is a story about a father who, grieving the recent death of his young adult child, walks the Camino de Santiago through the French Pyrenees and Spain. I saw the film when it came out many, many years ago and was immediately lured into the beauty of the land and intrigued with the idea of moving along an ancient pathway as a spiritual practice. The history of the Camino de Santiago as a pilgrimage trail, it goes way back to the beginning of the 9th century, and the network of routes spans almost 500 miles. Throughout the medieval period, it was one of the most important Christian pilgrimages, and it really reached its heyday in the 12th and 13th centuries when around 250,000 pilgrims a year would make their way along the journey. And after the Reformation, as ideas changed about ways to practice your spirituality, the popularity of this as a pilgrimage trail really tapered off. And then in the 1990s, also known as the late 1900s, the young people say, the Camino de Santiago was really rediscovered by people who wanted to use it as a way to connect with their faith, to find their spirituality, or to face the physical challenges that would be endured on such a long walk. The film The Way opens with the father immersed in very busy days, filled with work and friends. Like so many of us, his attention is focused directly on what's in front of him. He knocks out work tasks, responds to phone calls, pursues a hobby in his downtime. He is in constant motion from one thing to the next. He's laughing, planning, doing, golfing. And then he gets a phone call that changes his life. And it's the phone call that if you are a parent, it's the phone call you fear the most and hope you will never receive. It's a phone call from the French police telling him that his son has died a whole continent away, right at the beginning of his son's own pilgrimage on the Camino. With that phone call, the certain path traveled by the father day in, day out suddenly swerves. The way he once knew, lost and gone, heartbroken, his road ran on. The father travels to France to identify his son's body, and while he's there, he makes the choice that he will take his son's place and do that pilgrimage on the trail. Do you choose a life, or do you live one? This month in our worship services, we've been thinking about our own personal searches for truth and meaning. We started the month with our somewhat rambunctious first fruits ceremony in Throop Hall, where we followed symbolism of early flowering fruits on the vine. And then Nick led you on an exploration of pilgrimages that take place in familiar surroundings. Last week, Reverend Rick was with us, and he helped us think about our greater purpose in life. And today we consider the peculiar way life has of circling back around to the beginning just when we think we have reached the end of a season. The question about choosing a life or living a life reminds me of a passage from the Hebrew Bible, from Deuteronomy, and it's one of my favorite passages. This day I call the heavens and earth as witnesses against you that I have set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Choose life so that you and your children may live. These words are spoken by Moses to his people right about the time their own kind of 40-year pilgrimage in the wilderness is coming to an end. After their miraculous escape from bondage in Egypt, they spent years moving from place to place, dealing with the complexities of communal life, over and over, straying from faithfulness to their God, and then over and over, recovenanting with one another toward right relationship. After hoping and dreaming and striving to arrive at a place they'd been seeking, some seeking it for their whole entire lives, they are finally so close to the finish. And as they near the end, Moses realizes that he too is near his end, his death imminent. And after all of these years of leading and listening and imploring, encouraging, coaxing, what is the lasting message that Moses wants to leave his beloved people, that they take with them in their heart, that they promise to live by, and that they promise to share with their children and the children who come after him? And it's this message: choose life so you and your children may live. Do you choose a life, or do you live one? So much is out of our control. We have lived through so much just in the last 10 years. In your personal lives, you have lost spouses and parents. You've dealt with divorce and breakups. You've navigated serious health issues. And some of you have experienced a real break and loss of relationship with family since 2016. And as you've carried those multiple griefs, we together have collectively lived through a lot these last 10 years. Things that we would have thought unbelievable in 2010 when The Way was released. The last 10 years have been the hottest years on record. We experienced the devastation and disconnection of COVID. We watched the riots and the attacks on the United States Capitol building. We continue to carry fears that those nearest and dearest to us could be detained or disappeared. We watch with disbelief and hearts broken as open as they can be as we look at the loss of lives in the Middle East and in Sudan. And even now, the past few weeks, the complexity of this unjust war that has been launched with Iran. It was only last week that one of you told me in passing that you have a young adult son, and that your young adult son asked you, has it always been this way? Or am I just noticing it now because I'm at a place in my life where I am a young adult and beginning to think about these things differently? And the parent said, no, you've come to age at a really weird time in the world. It's not just you. It really feels that way. So much out of our control. And there's so much we can change. There is an immense space of possibility, like the land stretching out beyond the pilgrimage trail. I look out at you all and I see people who have carefully and with so much consideration, you have reached out toward that immense space of possibility, and you have chosen a life for yourself. You've chosen this life. You left behind a familiar homeland, and you chose to live in this place so you can have more personal choices, so you can feel more free, so you can live in closer alignment with your values. Some of you left unfulfilling careers. You chose to follow dreams and passions so you can more joyfully sustain yourself. And some of you have chosen a life that allows you the freest expression of who you are. Not hiding anymore, but your whole and holy self put out there in the world to shine. So which is it? Choosing a life or living a life? At the beginning of the film, The Way, this question is posed almost as a challenge. You have to pick one or the other. One or the other? No. You know what? We do both. We do both. In the film, the father makes the choice to stay in France and complete the quest his son has started out on. And from his very first step on that ancient trail, you watch him as he barrels forward, mind intent on reaching the destination. He is not stopping for much of anything. And the fellow pilgrims watch him and they say, he's missing out on most of what this journey is about. But by the time the father reaches the primary endpoint, we get the sense that finally, through all of those steps, he has slowed down and discovered the buried treasure. And it's how to live. The end is the beginning of renewed life for him. You make decisions every day to choose a life of meaning and purpose, and now it is yours to go and live it. Within that lies the chance for a life well lived, to be the person who receives and offers blessings, to alleviate harm and suffering, and to say yes over and over again to abundant life. May it be so for each one of us. We sing into that sense of possibility with our closing hymn, My Life Flows On, an endless song, number 108 in the gray hymnal. And I invite you all to rise, sing out that yes as we join our voices together, number 108.
My life flows on in endless song, a mother's lamentation. I hear the real, though far off hymn, that here's a new creation. Through all the tumult and the strife, I hear the music ringing. It sounds an echo in my soul. How can I keep from singing? When through the tempest round me roars, I know the truth it liveth. When through the darkness round me close, sounds in the night it giveth. No storm can shake my inmost calm, while to that rock I'm clinging. Since rent by veils in heaven and earth, how can I keep from singing? When tyrants tremble as they hear the bells of freedom ringing, when friends rejoice both far and near, how can I keep from singing? No prison cell and dungeon vile, our thoughts to them are winging. When friends by shame are undefiled, how can I keep from singing? How can I keep from singing? How can I keep from singing?
And reach across that field of possibility and take the hand or shoulder of someone near you. Our chalice and candles are extinguished. We carry their light with us, friends. Do not let anything keep you from singing. Go forth into the world, bringing compassion, joy, laughter, and kindness. I love you all. Go out and live the world. Amen, and blessed be.
it's I wasn't